Good evening, everyone. How is everyone? We are live. It is 5 p.m. over here on the East Coast. We are Wednesday live at 5. And tonight, we're going to talk about why your maid service isn't growing. Why is it not growing? Right? There's many reasons, many reasons. I'm going to talk about why it's not growing. I'm also going to talk about what you can do to help it grow, some things that you may possibly might be doing in your maid service, and how do we get you to a point where I give you actionable steps and you can get it to grow. So I usually wait a few minutes for everyone to get on. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cheryl Hasher. I founded Sisters Who Scale. I help cleaning businesses grow businesses, their poverty mindset, learn how to train, teach, manage, and scale. I have my own I'm active in my Maid company, Maid by Cleaning, out of the Boston, Massachusetts area. I started with no money. I was a single parent. I was as scrappy as they come, trying to get clients. I learned how to build 100% organic strategy, and now my company is reaching numbers I never thought possible, 100% organic, and never paying for ads. So I teach you how to do that too. So if you're watching this on replay, welcome to the channel. Hit subscribe, give me some love. I go live every week with another topic with regard to the cleaning industry. There's also a podcast on here and short. So if you'd like to get notified when I have another training, show me some love, hit that subscribe button, and we will get on with the training. So I need you to just do something for me before we get into anything. And I want you to be honest with yourself for the next 30, 40 minutes, right? With yourself, okay? Not with the person next to you. I want you to be honest with yourself. So, quick show of hands. And if you want to type in the comment section why you started your cleaning business. Did you start your cleaning business because you wanted freedom? Did you want more money? Did you want more flexibility? Be your own boss, or maybe a little bit of both, right? How many of you today feel actually free now that they're working their cleaning business? Do you feel free? I want to know. If you feel free in your cleaning business, put up your hand, type the word free, right? I have a feeling I'm not going to see so many hands. I have a feeling I'm not going to see so many hands there. So all of you started your cleaning company with a dream, somewhere between chasing clients, managing employees, and wondering why your bank account doesn't match how hard you're working each day. Now, that dream could start to feel like a trap. So here's what I need you to hear. That's not your fault. But staying there is your choice. Okay? Right now in your city, there's a maid service growing on every corner. We all know the pop-up cleaners are here steadily. They're fully booked. They might have a wait list, and that owner is not scrubbing toilets on a Friday at 7 p.m., or they're not lying awake wondering where next month's clients are coming from. So the gap between that owner and you is not talent. It's not connections. It's definitely not luck. It's 5 specific things. We're going to go through them today, every single one of them. And I want to warn you that some of this isn't going to feel comfortable, and you want to feel uncomfortable, because on the other side of uncomfortable is where your business actually starts to grow. We check in and see who's on here. Hi, everyone. Hi there, free. Oh, good. Where are you from, Drogan? If you're on here for the first time or whatever, if you're on here for the first time or you're on here for the 20th time, say hi. Let me know where you're from. Say hi. Hi. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm getting a couple people that haven't been on. Do you guys own cleaning businesses? I'm not sure if you do. So Reason number one that maid service is growing and your brand isn't, is they have a brand, they have a name, right? So two maid services, same city, same prices, same services. A potential client is scrolling Google trying to decide who to call. One has a clean logo, a real website, some team photos of some real people and not some AI people, and a tagline that says spotless homes, stress-free lives. The other has a blurry Facebook page, last updated in 2022, a logo that looks like it was made, who knows, in a Microsoft Word or on a lunch break, or one of those cartoony ones in ChatGPT that looks like everyone else's. Who do you think is going to get the call? So growing maid services understand that your brand is doing its job of selling before you ever pick up the phone, before you ever get to the house, if you do in-person estimates. It's that gut feeling that someone, a potential client, has that feeling, and they decide to trust you with the keys to their home, right? Denise had been in business for years. Let me give you an example. Good cleaner, great reviews, couldn't figure out why she wasn't growing. She ran Facebook ads, she got leads, nothing stuck. She thought the problem was her prices, her market. People don't want to work, all kinds of things, right? And then someone told her to Google herself. She didn't have a website. She had a Facebook page with 12 followers, a stock photo of a mop as her profile. So Denise wasn't losing clients because of her prices. She was losing them before they ever called her. And I want you guys to get this. So she spent one weekend fixing her online presence, real photos, updated a bio, made a simple website, didn't spend thousands of dollars on a website, made a simple website, and her inquiries doubled in 30 days. So your brand just isn't a logo. Your brand is trust, right? A brand we are in the business of selling trust. We're in people's homes, okay? So trust is what people have when you get hired. So if a potential client Googled your business tonight, what would they find? Would they pick you, or would they keep scrolling? And if you hesitated, you already know what needs to happen, right? You already know what needs to happen. Does your brand look like, let's ask you this. Let me ask you this question. If you looked at your brand online, would you choose to call them? Would you choose to call your own brand? That's the only question we really need to ask, right? So let's talk about reason number two. The company that's getting all the leads, they have a review machine. You're hoping for the best, right? So here's what most cleaning business owners do. They finish a great clean. The client is happy. They say, let us know if you need anything. And then they leave. They go home. They wonder why they only have 11 Google reviews after 2 years. So happy clients don't automatically leave reviews. They mean to, but they forget. They get busy, right? But an unhappy client, they will find the time to leave you a bad review. So if you're not actively asking for reviews, your Google profile is going to be a graveyard of silence, and silence does not sell. So I work with a lot of owners. I work with hundreds of owners a year. One owner that I worked with went from 14 reviews to 87 in 4 months by added an automated text to her CRM after every clean. Hi, we hope your home is feeling fresh. If you love your clean, we'd be so grateful if you shared your experience. 2 taps. Here's the link. Right? She didn't lower her prices. She just started asking for reviews. Her competitor down the street, right? Same quality, same market, still sitting at 22 reviews, wondering why the phone isn't ringing. So let's do a check-in right now. So right now, someone in your city is choosing your competitor, and you all should know who your competitors are, because they have more reviews. Right. Think about it. When you go to Amazon and you're going looking for a product, I buy a lot of vitamins. I'm a health nut. So looking for vitamins, I'm looking for a product. I'm looking at how many reviews they have. That is a differentiator for me. It's a differentiator for people looking for house cleaning services. Same thing today. So what is your review count? Write it down. What's your plan? This is very important. What's your plan to double it in 60 days? If you don't have one, That's the first thing you're going to work on when you leave this training, right? When you leave this training. Hey, Tamra, how are you? How are you? Okay, so reason number 3, the cleaning company that is doing better than you, they know their numbers. You know you're busy. Raise your hand if you've ever said, I'm so busy, I don't know where the money is going. I'm sure a lot of us have had that, right? I see you. I hear you. Busy is not a business strategy. Busy is a feeling. And a lot of cleaning business owners are extremely busy being completely broke, right? You charge, let's say $150 a clean. Sounds good, but subtract supplies, gas, labor, payroll, taxes, insurance, software, and marketing, and I already said supplies. That $150 clean may be netting you $35, maybe less, because when the money hits the account, it goes right back out and it feels like the business is working too, but it's not working if you're only retaining a $35 profit. You're moving money around and you're exhausting yourself in the process. And you're paying out paychecks, but you're not paying yourself a paycheck, right? Eric, a student of mine, was doing $8,000 a month in revenue, thought he was killing it. He actually looked at his numbers and realized he was taking home less than $1,200 a month after expenses. He was doing 40 plus cleans, barely making minimum wage when he factored in everything. And he wasn't underworked, he was underpriced. He raised rates by 18%, lost 2 price sensitive clients. That's going to happen. And ended up making more money working less. So you cannot grow what you do not measure. So if you don't know your cost per clean, your profit per job, and your average client value, you're not running a business. You're running a very stressful hobby. How many people here don't know their cost per clean and don't know their profit? Anyone on here? Type in the comments. Does anyone on here not know their profit? Just say, if you don't know your profit, say, I don't know my profit. So you're not running a business. You're running a very stressful, you're running a hobby. You're not running a real business. All right. Reason number 4, why your competitor is killing you is they're retaining clients. They're keeping clients. You keep starting over. Every time a recurring client quietly disappears, you don't lose just that one clean. You lose a client paying $200 every 2 weeks, or $150 or $175, which is worth $5,200 a year. 3 years, over $15,000. Lose 4 clients like that in a calendar year at $62,000 that just walked out the door quietly with no invoice, no drama. They just stopped booking. And so what most owners do is they jump on Facebook, they run an ad, they boost a post. 2 owners in the same suburb. Tanya was obsessed with new clients, right? She was posting ads, always chasing, doing reels. And then you had Michelle over here on the right-hand side, focused on keeping the ones she had. She remembered the clients' dogs' names. She sent handwritten thank you cards to every customer. She followed up after every first clean, which is what you need to do. And at the end of year 2, Tanya had done more total cleans. Michelle had more recurring revenue, a higher average ticket, and a wait list. Because what Tanya was doing is she was filling a leaky bucket, right? I mean, Michelle was fixing the holes. Michelle was fixing the problems instead of just getting more clients. You have to, if you have a quality problem, for example, you have to fix the quality problem before you go out and get more clients, because then you're just going to get more clients and you're going to lose them due to bad cleans and items missed if your quality isn't fixed on your staffing side. You're just filling the bucket that's leaking out, right? You never want to do that, right? So ask yourself this: when was the last time you reached out to a current client just to check in, just to say hi? Do you know I check in with my clients 3 times a year? 3 times a year. How's cleaning? How's everything? You have any questions? Do you need anything else? Anything like that. They just want to hear from us. I'm actually due to do it. I usually check in with them right around springtime, so I'm due any time now in my own business. Okay. Reason number 5, why those people are growing, those maid service companies are growing and yours isn't, is they run a business. You are running yourself into the ground. This is a big one. Nobody wants to hear this. If your business cannot function without you physically there, you don't have a business, you have a job. And a job is where you're the boss and the employee. and the janitor and the marketer and the accountant. You're probably not paying yourself for any of those roles. So you probably should be making about $150,000 a year, right? And then you say to yourself, but my clients want me. Maybe, but that's also the ceiling of your business, because you and I know that you can't clean more than 10, 15 homes a week by yourself. And the 15 homes a week by yourself is pushing it on the physical level, right? There's only so many hours in the day and only so much physical labor your body can take. So if you have one owner doing every clean herself 6-7 days a week, she's exhausted. I guarantee you, I work with people all day long that tell me how tired they are. She's exhausted, she's resentful, and she's on the verge of quitting, having crying fits in the car, at their house at the end of the night, right? So let's say this person hired one-time employee, and then she trained her on a simple checklist and handed off 3 clients. Those 3 went great. She took on 3 new clients, right? With the time that she got back, 6 months later, she had a few more people. She hired 3 more people. So now she has 4 people. And now she slowly gets to take herself out of the field. It's not going to be perfect. When I work with owners, and I'm working with one now in particular, Amanda, she just graduated, dropped the mom. She's in Sisters Elite. She went from $3,000 a month to $12,000 a month real quick in about 8 months, hired 4 people. She's bouncing in and out of the field. So when I work with people, I keep it real with you. I keep it real with you. There's no magic wand that's going to say, okay, all of a sudden you're just going to wake up one morning and you're no longer cleaning. It doesn't happen that way. You get out a couple of days, you get pulled back in to cover it. You get out a couple more days, you decide, you figure out who you're going to promote to a team leader. You train them to a team leader. That's what I teach a lot of people on. Now you're out 3 days. Now you're out 4 days. So it comes and goes. And eventually you're finally out. When you learn how to build your tiers of management with your team leaders and your team trainers, you are replacing yourself. So then you are out of the field. And that's how it happens. I've gotten a ton of people out of the field. Gloria, I've gotten out of the field. Victoria, I've gotten out of the field. I've gotten a lot of people out of the field, but it didn't come easy. It takes work, and it takes, that person has to decide that she's going to work smarter instead of working harder. So if you think about this, if you were able to take 2 weeks off from tomorrow with no phone, would your business survive? Would your business still run, right? If the answer is no to that, that's not a badge of honor. That's a warning sign that you could be heading into trouble. Hi, everyone. Say hi. I want to know who's on. I want to know, where are you from? I want to know where everyone's from. I just had 10 people. The numbers switch. It could be 20, then it's 10, then it's 30, then it's 5. See, people like drift in and out on these trainings, right? So what's the real price tag of staying stuck? So let's talk real money for a second, because sometimes you need to see the actual cost of doing nothing before you decide to do something, right? A weak brand losing, let's say, 3 potential clients in a month who Googled you and kept scrolling. Okay. They said, no, that company's not professional enough for me. I'm going to keep scrolling, right? At $400 a month in recurring value, that's $14,400. That's a lot of money gone because of a blurry logo. Like, that's it. That's all it takes. My nose is itchy. That's it. It's all it takes is a blurry logo, right? No review system. 2 clients a month choosing your competitor because they have more reviews, right? That's $10,000 handed to someone else, handed to your competition, right? Not knowing your numbers, underpricing by $20 a clean on 30 cleans a month is $7,200 a year left on that table. It starts to add up when you look at it in, just take a small frame and then add 5 small frames and make it to a big one. And we're talking like a lot of money, right? We're talking like a lot of money. So poor retention, you're losing clients because of bad quality, right? $19,000 walked out the door in a single word. That is a lot of money. So with no systems, your growth is capped. And what one human can only do so much cleaning, right? So when life happens, you have illness, you have emergency, you have burnout, your income stops completely. And that's not a business, that's a liability. So let's talk. I have an example here I want to go over with you. So let's talk about a problem. So let me just list everything that I kind of went through. So if you have a weak brand, it could cost you $15,000 a year. If you have no review system, it could cost you $9,600 a year. If you underprice your jobs, like I said, by $20 a clean, that can equal up to $7,200 a year. Poor retention, you're losing clients because of bad cleanings, 19,200. So when you add all this up, we're talking 50 grand. We're talking over $50,000. And that's conservative. That's conservative. When you change nothing, that's conservative. So I don't tell you this for a scare tactic, okay? That's $50,000 sitting on the table, waiting for you to pick it up. So the maid service down the street that's growing, they picked it up. While you were busy, they were building. While you were overwhelmed, they have systems. They're putting more systems in place. So you don't have a talent problem. You have a marketing problem. You have a systems problem. You have a strategy problem. And strategy is something you can fix, right? Strategy is something you can fix. So where does that leave you? Other maid services, and I tell everyone this, they didn't grow because they got lucky. No one's lucky. They made a decision. They made a real uncomfortable, I'm going to do this differently decision. Okay, they stopped winging it. They built marketing systems. They built a brand. They changed their logo. They changed their tagline. They changed their mission statement, core values, elevator pitch, everything. They stopped guessing at finances. They got real with the money. They learned their numbers. Do you know how many owners I work with that don't know their numbers? Probably 90%. Probably 90%. But once they work with me, they finally learn their numbers and their profits and their losses and all that stuff, right? So some of you will leave here today saying, that was a good training, right? And change absolutely nothing. Change absolutely nothing, right? Or you pick one thing from today, right? One thing from today, just one, and actually implement it, right? That fully booked maid service across town from you, they started exactly where you are. Everyone starts the same doubts, same slow weeks, same panic. The difference is they didn't wait for perfect conditions. They made a move, right? So what's your move going to be? What's your move going to be? I'm going to give you an action plan. This is what I want you to do right now. If you want to write this down, definitely. Hi, Amanda. Amanda, I was just talking about you. In a good way. I was talking about you in a good way. Okay, I'm going to give you an action plan and I want you to implement this. And I want you to come back to me, message me, and tell me what you implemented. So write this down. Let's talk about your brand. Google your business right now. I want you to Google your business right now. Tell me one thing that you're going to fix this week. That's number one of what you can do. Reviews. What is your current Google review count? How will you get 10 more in 30 days? How will you get 10 more Google reviews in 30 days? Maybe you put that as your goal. Your numbers. This takes a little while. Do you know the cost per clean and profit per job? If you don't, when will you find out? Will you figure out the cost per clean and profit per job? Right? That's very important. Retention, keeping your clients. Name one client you haven't heard from lately. Will you reach out? That's something else you can do. Make it a plan to reach out to all your customers and see how they're doing. See how their cleans are. See if you could do anything better. That's very, very, very important. Very important, right? And systems, lastly, systems. So what is one task you could do every single week that you could hand off or you could turn into a checklist? Systemize it, right? To make your life easier. So I always say that one action, one decision is all it takes to start. The biggest problem I see with maid service owners is that they lack consistency and they lack execution. Execution is implementation. learning something. They think that's great. They learn it, they take notes, they understand it, they get it, and they don't do anything with it. That is the worst thing you could do. The worst thing you could do, right? The worst thing at all. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this was helpful. Definitely you have the brand, Google your business right now, see how many reviews you have, look at your numbers, see if you can figure out what the profits are, retention with your clients, check in with your clients, and your systems. What's one task you could do every week that you could hand off or turn into a checklist? Try those. I guarantee you, if you Google your business right now, you're not going to like what you see. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. I Google my business all the time to make sure it looks better to the outside all the time, right? So, quick announcement. I'm opening up Drop Them Up April registration on Monday. I will be onboarding owners. I take 8 owners at a time during registration. I keep the cohorts small. Why do I keep them small? Because I want everyone to get as much personal attention from me as absolutely possible. When you work with me in the Drop Them Up group program, you don't have 30 people on a call. I keep it small. I want to get to know everyone. I want to get everyone the most possible results I can. I'm 100% committed to each and every one of my students. Ask any of my students, they will tell you. I'm obsessed with getting you the best possible results, right? And streamlining your business in the future. I've helped a lot of people. I have helped hundreds of maid service owners grow their brands, get out of the field, reach $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 months. It is more than average. It's more than average. It happens, right? And so there's weekly calls. It's a full 14 module course. There's homework geared towards everything for growing your maid service and getting you to stop cleaning so you can run the business. But it's only for serious business owners who truly need the help. Why do I say that? Why do I say it's only for business owners that truly need the help? Because the ones that don't want to work and just think it's going to change overnight are not my ideal clients. I want to work with you in your business and help you change it, grow it, get out of the field, and eventually maybe sell it or keep on as an active owner and just have a manager run it and you take a paycheck, right? So if you are interested, I'm going to post the application link in the comment section of this video. If you have questions, what I do is I set up a Zoom interview where I ask you a bunch of questions about your business, see what you're struggling with, and then decide whether or not you could be a good fit for the program. I don't take everyone, unfortunately, because you really have to be ready because it's a 6-month intense course. So if you were interested, I am going to look at the link below. I'm going to put a link for an application process. I'll get your email and then I will email you and we'll set that Zoom up. All right. I hope this was helpful for everyone. I hope it was helpful. And I hope to see you all soon. And I will see you next week. Okay. Bye.